Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do a review of Bonds Volume 1 The Drive by Nerium. And this is an Indiegogo campaign, and it's still in demand, by the way. If you haven't, if you want to check it out, I'm going to leave the link in the description. I was, looking forward to this one for a very long time because Nerium and I, well, we are friends, so I try to be as objective as I can. Talking about this because I don't want to spoil too much. But on the other hand, I have to show some pages to let you know what's going on. So this video can contain possible spoilers. And let's dive in. So what is this all about? It's a werewolf book, but it's not your traditional werewolf that you see in movies and television. No, this is way different, and it's more like an introduction book. We see the main characters here, or one of the main character is Lena Jensen, and she is, a girl coming of age, and it seems that they are, the werewolves and humans are locked in mortal combat. And I first, when I saw this page, I thought, okay, there's some humans and they want to kill the werewolves. But then I saw here also on this side werewolves, so I'm not sure if there is also a werewolf faction in the human side, or that werewolves are coming from different angles. I'm not entirely sure, so that's a mystery to me. And then it seems that Lena's parents are killed, and she's getting saved by her grandfather, I believe, grandpa and grandma here. So they are the alphas of their pack. And years later, okay, see her. And years later, Lena is a little bit grown up. She's, I believe, here 15 years old, and she's getting, information about. Basically, her grandfather teaches her the ways of the werewolf, if you will, and that there's the importance of being an alpha, the multiple factions, because there's different groups of werewolves. So, for instance, we have here Magnus Canis. He does diplomacy, contact with humans. We have here from the Sapphire Moon Pack. There's main field of interest in politics. Of the main field of interest is politics and trade. And we have, of course, a grandpa itself that does defense and warfare. And we see also the island where they live on, and each one have a certain part of the island that they are controlling, if you will. And they also have some safe spots, like Sapphire City. Every member of all the factions can go there and to work, and they have laid some infrastructure there to move from place to place, which is cool. But then Lena says, I want to be the next alpha. And then the grandpa looks at her and says, what? And it seems that only the males can be an alpha, and that, a female, that's unheard of, because the males are more the dominant, the strong one, and they pick a mate and they become the Luna. And the Luna is basically the second in command. But Lena is not, taking that very well, and she doesn't want to be a Luna, and she doesn't want a mate. She wants to be an alpha. So she goes out and sulking, and she storms off. But then later, this man comes here. It's called Rick Taylor. He's a Zeta. There's also, how do you say, different, what's the word I'm looking for? Labels, Zeta, Delta, Beta, something like that. I'm not sure how it all works yet, but it seems this is a combat leader and trainer and mentor of the pack, according to Indiegogo. And he is, is a very positive, jokey, witty guy. Comes to lighten up the mood, and he is sitting to Lena, and he said, "Hey, what's going on?" And Lena doesn't want to know, want to talk about it. And then she says, "I want to be an alpha." And then he makes fun of her. And I love also that the fact that Nerium puts in some lighthearted humor that actually works. So she hears the mumbling, so I want to be an alpha. And he says, what? And then she says, speak up. And then she stomps on the ground and yells, I want to be the alpha. Are you deaf? And he says, well, that's more like it. The art is great. I love what they are doing. I mean, for instance, look at this. Nerium. Nerium is the artist, the writer, and she gets help from the Red Gaze. And Red Gaze is a very known guy that in working in comics, making books, and he is as a streaming platform on YouTube. And yeah, they have a lot of streams with new people that want to present their comics. Check it out because I know I'm gonna ramble all day about this. Check out Red Gaze's stream. Also check out Miriam's stream. You can Google it and you can find it definitely. But you know what? I'm gonna leave their links in the description as well if you know more about those two. What I'm trying to say here. Oh yeah. So then we go to a little bit of the past because Rick says, "Hey, there was a female alpha in the pack. They are rare." So he explains when he was younger that he is being approached by this girl called Elijah, and they have some cool chemistry together. I believe there are some, how do you say, they like each other, if you will. And but then she's disappearing for a year, and then it seems that she's changed and become actually an alpha in her pack. But that's not it. She's becoming cold, distant, and he at some party he goes to her because he is they are destined to be a mate or to become each other's mate, and then she rejects him, and then we see here the rose that is falling, and she walks off, and he's standing there. And it seems that's a terrible thing in when it comes to the wolf packs because they have some kind of a special bond, mates, and it's a very deep bond. And if there's some kind of a disruption in it, they break away from each other for whatever reason. It can hurt the one that has been left behind. It seems that the part of the wolf falls into a lethargic state, and the human part suffers along. With depression. Then it can become aggressive, and it can turn into a monster. And somehow Elijah is, becoming or is a monster because she is hunting groups, people from their own, group, because it seems one of those are weak, and she wants to eliminate the weakness into her group because she wants to become the strongest. Not only the strongest alpha, but also the strongest wolf pack. And I'm going to skip a few pages because I show way too much, as you see here. And it seems that her own group are sick of her, and they, taking care of her eventually. And that's, the end of that alpha, that female alpha. So there's a danger to it. But also, Lena said, you know what? I'm not becoming like her. I become something different. I want to protect, take care of those I love. And that's my reason. That is my drive. And I'm not going to give up on it. And and also we shown that she has a bond with her brother called Jesse Jensen. And they have a very deep, unique connection with each other. And it makes them inseparable. And that's what I really like. So this is more, how do you say, a slow burn story, if you will. And by the way, this is the one of the stretch goals, the Mudman comic, because Jesse Jensen is a big fan of the comic Mudman, and they Lena and Jesse are spending time together, reading a comic when she does that with her brother. So yeah, what I'm trying to say with the slow burn, it's more like there is an introduction to Lena, and there's then introduction to one of the pack members. If I give it one criticism, But that's my personal opinion and my personal preference, maybe, because I want to see more of Lena. I think she's a very cool, interesting character. But the other half of the comic is about Rick Taylor and what happens in the past. And at first I thought, you know what, maybe it was better that, Rick and Lena go back and forth, coming to the past and then to the present again. But on the other hand, now we exactly know what happened to his mate and what the consequences were. And that story is now done. So we can move on to the next volume. And I think that's cool. But, this is a 50%, introduction of Lena and 50% approximately about Rick. And there is more people coming in the future with Bonds 2. And I believe Miriam is here. So I'm going to see you in volume 2. It seems that Miriam has a big plan for Bonds. He is now doing, I think, 10 volumes so far, and it's still going. And so she has it all laid out. She knows exactly what's going to happen, and the script is already done. Well, not with all of them, but most of them. And this is, like I said, this is more storytelling. There's some introductions, there's some backgrounds, there's those factions. It's more like, hey, listen, if you are interested in this book, this is what it's all about. Follow me into volume 2 because there's more great stuff coming, probably with more action, etc. Although there's action in here, but like I said, this is more like a slow burn. Well, not really slow, but you know what I mean. It's not nonstop action, and sometimes you don't have to do that. I mean, this is a great book. It's very engaging. I liked it very much. The art is fantastic. I show you a couple of pages here. It looks freaking awesome. I know Nerium was good, but I didn't know now that I see the book up close. It's freaking fantastic. I wish there was more backgrounds, but that's my problem. I need backgrounds in my comic, but hey, that's what it is. It brings me to the end of the book. I really love it. I hope I was not too biased, but I'm actually liking the book very much. So yeah, if you want to check it out, Bonds, the Drive, it's still on Indiegogo. I'm gonna leave all the links in the description, so check that out. And I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.